apparently a pretty busy agenda. So let's start with an invocation and pledge. This is Coastal Zone Management and Restoration Advisory Committee. Today is November 7th. And our Heavenly Father, thank you for this beautiful day and the opportunity to attempt to be of service to our community. Please keep us mindful of your presence as we undertake the business of the day. And this we ask in your Son's name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Vicki, you want to record the roll, please?
Ernie Downs.
Here.
Bobby Drexel.
Here.
Matt Denma. Jeb W.
Here.
Jordan Lerat. Dan Rogers.
Here.
Barry Studier.
Here.
Nikki Thompson.
Here.
You have it.
Excellent, thank you. So for our first order of business are the minutes from October the 3rd.
I'll move.
Motion by Jan, second by Bobby. All in favor? Anybody opposed? Okay, minutes are approved. And then we'll move on to permits. Mart, if you please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Okay, we've got several local concerns here. First one, this is one at 199 Klondike Road in Berg. I started working on the WVA, and he needs to put a culvert in the ditch to access his property. This is the way he expects to do it, have the dimensions for that. I started working on the WVA and I sent it to OCM for their comments on it. I haven't got those comments back. There may be, emphasize the word may be, some mitigation involved in this. I emphasize the word may. I'm not sure yet. So anyway, I want to, that's where it's located. You know what it is, Jan. So our recommendation is just to hold us over to the next meeting until I can get everything straight with the Office of Coastal Management on the WVA and determine if there indeed is going to be some small part of compensatory mitigation. The only thing on that, just a recommendation to hold it over.
I'm over to hold until more information is received.
Thank you,
Okay.
Ernie. That was Jan. Barry? Okay, second by Barry. Discussion? All in favor? Anyone opposed? Okay, your next item, sir.
Next item, Lowland Construction has got a, want to excavate a borrow pit. It's permit number 2023773. Public notice on this ends on October 30th, so there's nothing we can do except review it. This is the, this is in the Pointe-au-Chien area. This is the dimensions of the borrow pit, as you can see here. This is what they want to do. Our recommendation is to grant a local coastal use permit with the following conditions. Keep the road free of mud and dirt within a half mile of the access road, which is, in this case, is LA 665, and follow all state and local signing requirements for that dirt pit on the state highway.
If you go back to the first page of the,
The aerial map.
yeah, the aerial right there. So, I know it says the yellow line just says project boundary. It does not say property lines.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would like to have a map showing the property, that if they're totally on their property or is there adjacent property owner right there at that project line?
But is that a drainage canal in the back there too?
That's a borrow canal for the levee.
I would say we need to make sure they're 50 feet from that one also.
Yeah, add that condition to your motion.
Okay, so it's basically, what do we, it's on hold right now, right? Till the public notice is
Till
what
the
we're
public
saying?
notice, yeah.
No, the public notice is, it's just for the public to comment on this permit.
The
Y'all-
public notice ends October 30th, but you can make your motion now, and it won't be issued until October 31st, yeah.
Yeah, we passed the public.
Oh, October, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know, I was getting
Yeah.
confused when you said that too, so.
Yeah, I'm sorry, thinking November. Yeah, it's October, that's when it ended. So add that that condition to it, to your motion, to keep them 50 feet off the property line.
Well, I mean, we don't get a chance to look back at this then, right? Well, this is it, we're gonna approve it as is.
Yeah.
So go back to the map one more time. So, so what I was saying is it's right here, we can't tell where our property line is. And like Ernie said, the Borrow Canal's in the back, obviously the road's plenty in the front. So what we're saying is we make a motion that we must be 50 feet from the edge of the Borrow Canal or any adjacent property line?
I would say.
Yeah, I mean, and if it's totally 100% their property, then it's, and it look, he's probably is 50 foot, but you can't tell. There's no dimensions on this
20
map.
foot on the, cross-section.
20 foot on, to the project line.
Okay.
So,
Right.
so, it probably looks like another at least 30 foot. I mean, if you look at the thing, so I agree with that. I'll make that motion that, that
50 feet
From
from the Borrow Canal and property.
any adjacent property line.
How far down is this? Mark, do you have any idea?
Yeah, it's about 1,000 feet north of the bridge that you've got to cross to get on Island Road.
That's way down.
Yeah, it's way down
It's
there.
way down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you look at a picture, you see the little trailer looks like on the side, and then you see the building on the other side. It might be all his buildings. I don't know.
I don't think it is, but
Yeah, if that's the case, if that's all his property, then ain't nothing to worry about.
Just the drainage canal in the back.
Right.
Yeah.
And it probably has that covered already, but we'll note it.
I would think down there that they wouldn't qualify.
Okay.
All right, motion by Jeff, subject to 50 foot from the adjacent property, including 50 foot from the Borrow Canal.
Second.
Second by Bobby. Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, we're good, Mr. Black.
all right, the next one, Norris and Boudreaux's the contractors. They want to excavate a borrow pit for a local levy. The public notice period ended October 30th. This is the, make sure I got the right.
Do large.
Yeah, let's do large.
Oh, yeah, this is at 3001,
Oh, what's that?
Highway 315. It's way down there. It's past Falgout Canal. I went there, walked all over this. It's upland. So he's got a couple of pits here that were previously dug. He wants to avoid that. Al was under the impression that he owned that little, you can't see it, but there's a little strip just to the south of that, but he doesn't own that. So that's what he wants to do. And again, those are the cross sections.
So here again, you go back to the plan view and the cross section here. I mean, we're gonna have to make them give us more information. This one actually shows the red lines as property lines.
Yeah.
But in section B, he's not telling us anything. So, I mean, the lengthways, he's not telling us where the property line is or how far. The other one at least had a project boundary line, which showed 20 feet. So, I'd like to make the same motion here that we stay within 50 feet of the adjacent property lines. I mean, it would be consistent with what we just did. You see, if you look back at the plan view, you can't tell.
Yeah.
It could be 10 feet or it could be whatever feet. That's where we got problems with. You could
Yeah,
build up,
exactly.
you could start cutting into the neighbors and it starts caving in.
Well, if you look at that legend on the bottom, I mean, that might help.
He's got a 3-to-1 though. It used to be 1-to-2, but now it's 1-to-3, which is better. They're all tending to do that now.
He could easily fix go back one more page with the map. So you see the red lines is obviously the property lines.
Yeah, he owns both pieces.
Right, but but we have no idea how close the blue line is to the red line. He has no.
I didn't scale it off, but there is a scale on it.
Go back to it.
I'm on it.
No, the other one.
See,
Yeah, but
then
watch.
look
Go
at
back.
BB, see, go to B,
Yeah.
go one more page. So,
But what he's got is that right there is
Eh,
50 feet from here to here,
but-
but right there is only 20.
but there's no property line. That don't
Well,
mean nothing.
I
Yeah,
would think
that-
that would be the end of.
No.
You don't know.
That's the
You
scale.
don't know.
That's
Right.
just a drawing. This means nothing. He has no dimensions there. Again, I'd make a motion that we would want to, have the end of the edge of the borrow to be a minimum of 50 foot from the adjacent property lines.
With these other conditions.
Yes, just add to what you already had, look
Yeah.
good.
And I'll second it again. But one question, all of these are for local levies. I thought we was pretty well done with local levies. I thought
No.
it was going down to,
No.
I thought the Corps was coming in at this point.
They are, but that's still a local levy. And we're gonna be doing
But the
lifts on,
Corps has
yeah.
a lot more requirements for dirt.
well,
than
that's
local.
all being worked out. But these
long ways
local
away from
levies
cheating.
that are not being built by the Corps, and the Corps is doing some stuff,
Okay,
you know, but these are for, to maintain the lifts, cause that's gonna be going on, Bobby, forever.
Ever and ever, yeah.
Yeah.
even after the Corps is finished?
Oh, yeah, 'cause, I mean.
Well, I mean, if
Then
the
the Corps,
Corps,
the
if the
Corps
Corps
would
takes everything
maintain
to
it.
20 or 22 feet, then
Then
it's
they
on-
maintain it.
they maintain it,
But
but
they're gonna
right
have-
now, we gotta do it. I
But
mean,
when
the
that
levy board's
happens,
gotta
they're gonna be going a lot further north for good dirt. Unless they change their rules and
Yeah,
regulations.
it's gonna get expensive too, I imagine.
Yep,
Okay, we do
but
have,
I still,
we have a
Second.
motion and a second.
right.
Is there other discussion? Okay, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? I think we're good on that one, all right. Mark, what's next?
All right, another borrow pit.
That same contract.
They want to excavate this in the section as indicated. This is in,
By Lulu.
that was on Bayou du Large, it's 654 Bayou du Large Road. It's all upland. Let me see something. Yeah, that public notice ended on that. So again, I don't think there's any issues here with property lines because maybe on that north side, but
Right,
but the guy, he's leaving himself open on the south side.
Yep. So what, I'm gonna make the same motion again, just because he don't give us any measurements, just to be consistent
he
with what we
probably
just
has
did.
it. This one
He's
has it.
probably plenty good enough, but it ain't gonna affect him if we does or don't. But, probably we'll send the signal out now, don't send us any maps unless you have your property line dimensions on everything that you send us, and that might be something, when they send them, you can tell them
They send
that.
it to me and I send it to them, I'll make sure to put that in there.
Tell them we want,
When they get the initial email from me,
yes, and say we want accurate dimensions to all the property, adjacent property lines,
all borrowed.
all borrow
Yep.
pits. So I'm gonna make the
Does-
same motion
And I'm
again.
gonna make the same second.
Yeah.
Good.
Delta Coast should know that. I think they might be leaving that off intentionally.
They won't, well,
No, they won't do it anymore, that's for sure.
no,
All right, so we do have a first and a second discussion. Sounds like we had it already. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that carries as well.
All right. Next item is a construction of a warehouse building, some loading docks, trailer stalls, parking lot, detention basin, at 184 Rebecca Plantation Boulevard in Schriever. This is the location. It was a JD done. The blue lines are non-wetland waters. And it basically drainage ditches around that property. And if they were to mess with those, they'd probably have to go back to the Corps for a 404 permit. But for our purposes, this is all upland. This is what they want to do. And our recommendation is an LCUP with the following conditions must stay within the non-wetland waters as shown on the JD from the Corps. If they stay within that, they don't have to fool with anything from the Corps.
I move we,
Yeah.
move this.
That's fine. I'll second that one.
Who is Seafried Development? Any idea?
It's like a distributing warehouse, it looked like.
I got an idea who that's for.
Motion by Ernie, with second by
I'll second.
Yeah.
Jeff.
Yeah.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, Mr. Black.
Okay, this next one, Cynthia, Louisiana, they want to harvest, you know whose that is? No, they want to harvest water hyacinths to create fibers for use in commercial products out of the Gibson oil field canals.
I make a motion to approve.
Yep. Unanimous.
Look, that's the, it's no direct significant impact on this one, okay?
Is there some way we can help them?
Yeah, well, that's
Killing me.
that's the location where they want to take this stuff out.
Yeah.
I got a few
Bowels
more
from which-
locations.
the Bowels from which all hyacinths spring forth.
Yep. So
So, I mean, I'm just asking, what's the plan? Where they gonna bring it to?
as long as they get it out the waterway.
Yeah, they go barge it, unload it. I mean, that's been talked about for years, trying to come up with a way to make hay or something.
Well, they're gonna try to do it, and I wish them
How did you pronounce that?
success. The name of it, I think it's Cynthia, Louisiana.
No. How
LLC.
do you pronounce Econia?
Oh, that's the Latin name for it.
So this is their first step. That I mean, they have an office. They're gonna have a. I like that. I really like the idea, and
Aren't they based in Latin?
You'd be wearing
Yeah.
clothes made of
Based in Latin.
Yeah,
water lilies.
they're gonna bring it. They're gonna put it on a truck and haul it somewhere. Or,
I think so.
Yeah.
Tell them we have a lot of other areas. with-
They
Oh.
obviously know. I think that's Icornia crassipes. That's the technical name, Latin name for water hyacinth.
Right, there's so many seconds I couldn't pick one out. Who was up?
Unanimously.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, when we saw this, we said,
Go for it, Jan.
hallelujah. Finally.
All right, Bobby and
Right.
Jan. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Yay.
All right, another borrow pit. Vicky, did you give me this one? Man, I got out of order. Hold on a minute, let me find it. 0868, 0868, 0868, 0872. Oh, here it is. Sorry.
Do we have approved regulations? We have
What?
approved regulations on, not yet?
Nope. Pushed it down the road.
Oh, hold your breath. All right, the public notice on this one ends on November 25th, all right? And this one is located, let me go back. This is a very narrow, little piece right here, but that was the JD. That's all considered uplands. This is off of,
Idle R?
no, that's off of,
I missed,
Dr. Beatrice Road.
oh, yeah.
And a little narrow piece, that's the access to it. It goes back, there's no wetlands involved in this, not even non-wetland waters. But again, I think the comment about the 50-foot setback is appropriate here along with the other conditions.
They had no sections or not, oh, there, okay.
Here it is, yeah.
So they said,
BB, need to see BB,
yeah, BB is, see.
20 feet,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's project boundary.
And I
right?
think that's all their property.
Well, that's fine. We're gonna make them tell us though.
Except in the back, they're close to that Borrow Canal.
You made a motion?
I'll make, well, you
We
already.
got it on there, stay within
50
50
feet.
feet or.
We'll just add on there to show the adjacent property lines.
And they gotta stay within 50 feet of that.
Right, correct.
And the Borrow Canal.
So,
Yeah,
I'll make them, a
you know,
second.
we got a lot of borrow.
so I'll make a motion to add,
I got it.
to 50 foot from the adjacent property lines.
You ought to have it by
Drainage
now.
canal,
We can make that a stamp.
But we can't
Yes, you
prove
can
it.
prove it.
We can't.
The public notice period is just the public to
Come back.
comment on
Comment.
the stuff.
Okay.
You
If
can,
there's
you
any
can,
comments,
yeah, we can't, we're not gonna issue anything until the public notice period is ended.
But we can
Okay.
prove it.
yes.
So-
you can
Okay.
today.
Okay, cool.
But we still can approve it today.
Yeah,
Right.
Okay. So again, we have a motion by Jeff and we had a second by Bobby again.
Right.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. That passes. You had a busy agenda here, Mr. Black.
Yeah,
yeah.
I like it.
And we have, state concerns,
Otherwise,
none,
yeah.
but there was a consistency determination. The FY 24 maintenance dredging of the Chapelai River Bay and Bar, which I had some favorable comments about that I submitted to Ray Reich, I think it's with DNR. And, kind of jokingly said, I'd love to have that spoil material in Terrebonne. He said, well, I'll include that in my comments to the Corps. I said, okay, but we're not gonna get it. So anyway, and this is some of the pictures involved here, what they're doing, the placement sites, the dredging reach,
Couple mounds.
yeah, Pimple Mounds, go figure. All right, that's all we got on that, Mr. Chairman.
And y'all have a copy in y'all.
Yeah, that's in your packet.
Well, at least it's not going 70 miles offshore.
Yeah. There's also a
Oh.
couple letters in there,
Well, if we'd have had our long distance dredge pipe 10 years ago, like it originally was supposed to be.
by the way, that is in the,
That's still out there.
that's
in the-
in the.
it's in the master
It's in the
plan.
master
I
plan
know.
as an alternate. It's
But-
in there.
When the first plan came out, every one bit of that would have been in Terrebonne Parish. All that plus 10 years of work. So we wanted to go all the way to the east instead of doing little pieces at a time, and we got nothing.
Right. You remember how much it was?
Because it was
How much it was,
billions
yeah.
to go all the way to the east. We could
Lot
have
of
been
money.
Started with millions.
Yeah.
Yeah. She didn't know the council members.
She's like, man,
was
that's a new
sitting
thing. She thought it was the council meeting.
All right.
We got along too well.
Next item on the agenda is subcommittee reports, Ernie.
The subcommittee did not meet in October, and our next meeting will be to announce whenever our projects come up for
Probably,
consideration.
probably in sometime in February.
All right, Mr. Black, you want to go over your
All
report?
right, Mr. Chairman.
Where are you at
uh,
tonight?
Starting on page one, the CAP project. Got a little problem with this. According to the permit we got from the Corps, we have to close that gate when the salinity is greater than 3 parts per thousand. Right now, it's running close to 30 parts per thousand because of all the, no rain, that kind of stuff. Well, the property owner, a little upset because he can't get access to that property right now for hunting and that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna try to, that gate right off the H&C that goes into Falgood, it was a CAP project back in 2015, 16. And there's a gate there that Delta Coast has been doing the monitoring on it, and they open it certain times of the year when the salinity is right, when that's, because you want fresh water going into that marsh.
Yep.
Well, the salinity is right now pushing 30 parts per thousand, so that gate's closed. It's supposed to be closed between, I think, September and February anyway, but they've been making accommodations for the property owner for hunting season. Well, the salinity's too high right now. And the guy's upset about it, understandably so, but we got permit conditions we gotta meet, we gotta follow.
What guy is it?
Well, it's a guy named Joe Cristiano, he lives in
He
Baton Rouge.
he
but
owns
there's
the property, he has a hunting lease.
No, I think he owns the property, but he's got a property manager by the name of Wilfred Danos, who lives in Chauvin.
Okay.
And I talked to Wilford today and he's not too happy. So, I don't know, I don't see a solution to this, but, it'll end up in court.
Well, but there was no access there before, right?
Yeah, there was.
Was access there
Yeah,
before?
yeah.
Okay, I may be in the wrong spot.
But anyway, I mean, the idea is to get those marshes freshened up, and if you got it open right now, you got all that, I mean, really high
Oh, it's bad.
saline content
water's
water
bad.
going in there, that's gonna do some serious damage. So,
So what he'd have to do is get the Corps to build a berm in the HNC, like they did in the Mississippi River,
you gonna hold your breath for that?
Ain't gonna happen.
huh?
You mean at the bottom? That ain't
Yeah.
happening. I know what you're
I
talking
mean, they
about.
did it in the river.
Yeah, well, the river's a lot deeper than the HNC. All right, look on, at the bottom of page, one, the Homa Navigation Canal Lock Complex, the, phase two, which is the lock complex, the bid period's been extended to December, 21st at 10 a.m. And there's still questions coming into the engineering team from contractors. Turn to page two. Top of the page, the Bayou DeCad Ridge Restoration Marsh Creation Project 138. I'm going out for a monitoring trip with Brian Babin of CPRA on November 15th. We'll see how that works out. On the Island Road Marsh Creation, TE 117, NOAA reviewed a draft survey scope from CPRA. The purpose of the survey is to re-verify the site conditions and design. NOAA is coordinating with ConocoPhillips prior to accessing the project site and hopes to have the survey conducted before the end of the year. This project, I thought got construction funding, but I might be wrong. On the Bay Rockasee Marsh Creation Ridge Restoration, that's in 2 increments, but the first one, TE 156, land rights with Apache for this project has been concluded successfully, and they're gonna ask for phase 2 construction funds at the next technical committee meeting, which I think is on December 14th. Not so lucky with TE 166, which is increment 2. They're so far unable to secure land rights, and they may have to shut that down until they acquire it. On the HNC Island, we're on page 3, on HNC Island Restoration, TE 165. CPRA expects to have in hand this month necessary authorizing documents that will allow for advertising for construction to happen as early as early 2024, maybe in February. The construction time frame is estimated to be from September 24 to February 25, and a reason for that is that you've got, this is a bird island, that's why they're doing it, so they gotta be careful about the birds. Understandable. Turn to page 4. The Bayou DuLarge Ridge and Marsh Creation Project, that's TE 170. CPRA has requested some additional geotechnical survey to evaluate the borrow source and ridge portion of the project. CPRA is completing the land rights and oyster lease acquisitions. Pending the geotechnical results, CPRA expects to be ready to start construction in mid-2024. On the Restore project, the Fletcher Coastal Restoration Workforce Development Program, keeping our fingers crossed that that program is going to restart in January of 2024. They hoped to do it in the fall, but they had no enrollment. So they're going to do some things to try to get some enrollment to start that. And if it starts up, I do a segment on a pro bono basis in that curriculum. On turn to page 7. PPL 33, we had that last year. The Karen Crow Bayou Diversion, which is a important project for us. That's going to be presented at the December 14th meeting of the Technical Equipment Technical Committee. I am going to submit comments on this project, and there is another project in the area, another part of Karen Crow Bayou that Ducks Unlimited and is involved in the two projects could work synergistically to keep salt water out of those areas. So I'm gonna try to put them all together and see if we can get that done. Coastal use permits for October, 7 altogether, and for the year through October at 61,500, big improvement. Field inspections, we had 7 total. Even looked at one, got a complaint from a neighbor. This is on Charlotte Street in Gray. This guy's got a big backyard. He's out there with a little excavator and he's just digging it up. Just digging it up. He's not selling the dirt. He's just, like, are you practicing, you know, to be an excavator operator? He's got deep holes, shallow holes, trenches. He's doing all kinds of stuff. But he hadn't sold the dirt. He had no plans to sell the dirt. The neighbors are complaining for the vibration. I said, go put the guy on notice that if he cracks the slab, cracks the sheet rock, he's gonna have to pay for it. So they did that.
How close is he to the nearest neighbor?
He's, you know, close enough.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and so that's all we can do. He's not selling the dirt. So there's not a borrow pit. He's piling the dirt up in his backyard. I don't know what he's gonna do with it. So, I mean, I looked at it, the Public Works Department looked at it, it's like, you know, crazy. On the correspondence, I sent a letter out got a bunch of complaints about this one to a property owner who is, it's the one on the right descending bank. It's not Bayou Blue, it's actually the St. Louis Canal. This is in the, what is that? That's the gray area, near Highway 90. Okay, not too far off of that, on Timberwood Drive. He brought some heavy equipment in there and he's crossing over the St. Louis Bayou to start doing some work on his property. We got some heavy equipment in there. Neighbors are all like freaking out because the guy's got a drag line. He wants to put a bridge, but he's got to jump through some hoops with Public Works about a bridge because that's a major drainage artery for the parish in that 11B drainage system. So I talked to him after he got the letter, and he says all he wants to do a little clearing so he can do a survey of his property lines. And then he wants to put up some boundaries so that he and his kids can go in there and recreational purposes and hunt and that kind of stuff, which I'm okay with. But he didn't communicate all that to his neighbors, and his neighbors ain't too happy. He said, well, I wouldn't be happy either if there's a drag line in my front yard. No kidding, you know? So at some point, I think he's gonna move all that stuff out, but still the neighbors just, if he just talked to him and tell him what he's doing, it would solve a lot of problems. But, you know, he hadn't done that yet. But anyway, the letter's there. And the meetings attended and upcoming today was the agencies, parishes, landowners, coastal restoration workshop at ConocoPhillips. I made my presentation, talked about the land bridge in the east, how that can work. I'll leave it up to the federal agencies to come up with the plans to make that work that they're going to present at PPL 34 in, you know, in late January or February in Morgan City. So all we can do is keep our fingers crossed that they understand. I mean, I've been harping on that every year at that deal, but now that land bridge is in the master plan. So now they can begin to focus on that. And there's some ways that can happen. So we're just keeping our fingers crossed on it. And on the last page, we've pretty much got all our reporting up to date that we have to do for the feds. So that's all I got, Mr. Chairman. If there's any questions. I just touched on the highlights. I'm not.
Be held until further notice.
Yeah.
Any questions for Mark? right, next item, is going to be public comments. We do have public comment, we have anything?
No.
And, next up are committee member comments. Ernie? your turn.
Yeah, I'm looking at the item. Final draft has been sent for our bar pit ordinance. We put a lot of work in it, now we gotta put it on hold, and all of a sudden we getting Boku bar pit, permits that we gotta go through and set up criteria where if this would've went through and passed,
Didn't have to.
we wouldn't have to go through this and set permit. You know, all this criteria that we
I'm
gotta go
gonna-
through is already in
I'm
there.
gonna try to see if I can get them off the dime. You know, I mean, I got,
That's all my comment for today is just on our bar pit that, I mean, this whole board sat down, we had special meetings and now we gotta put on hold because somebody wanna dig up some ground.
Thank you, Ernie. Bobby?
My comments would be, I agree, but I think most of these permits followed with just a little add-on that we had, so I don't know what they worried about. But, no, yeah, we did put in a lot of work.
But I think they know it's out there and they're trying to get it in before it actually does.
Is that a public notice of what we're asking for at this point? So they really don't know what's coming?
no, that's an ordinance. That,
It went,
I understand that's an
They
ordinance.
went to public notice yet or not?
no, it hadn't done that. It hadn't been introduced
to
by
the
the
council.
council.
Okay,
But I'm gonna try to get it done before end of the year, but I think I can get it done next year.
so when it went to the council though, it was been public talking about it, right? At the
it
council.
hadn't gone to the council yet, right?
It didn't go to public hearing yet. The ordinance, I think they kind of held back on it
Okay,
for whatever reason.
obviously they were talking about it though.
It was on the agenda, it
Agenda,
was,
yeah.
but they didn't adopt the resolution which would have put the ordinance on the council agenda.
I got you.
I don't like it. but-
That's it.
Okay.
I'll make a comment. So, I know you went to the ConocoPhillips, meeting and that, I know we've been doing that a long time now. So, but our Ducks Unlimited banquet is on this Thursday and, ConocoPhillips, partnered with Ducks Unlimited, over 10 years ago. And they're actually gonna be, awarded, an award there. So they're gonna have a lot of the DU staff there and, a lot of the ConocoPhillips people there at our banquet. So if you wanted to come and visit with them or see them, I think it's a great thing. And I think they're gonna have a video that's gonna show some of the projects, even though they're little all over the place. Even the tie-in with all the Quipper stuff and everything else. So it's a good thing, and our Ducks Unlimited banquet's on Thursday at the Civic
Yeah,
Center.
they showed all those videos and stuff today, a lot of.
Oh,
DD
did you get to
people
see
there.
it?
Yeah,
You might have saw
I
it.
saw it,
Okay,
yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
It was good, it was
Yeah.
good. They did a lot of great work. We have partnered, the parish has partnered with DU a couple of
Yeah.
times. Great people to work with.
Yep.
And John Harrington at ConocoPhillips was very, very gracious and nice to let us use his facility for this.
Yes. So, very
And the
good.
food was good too.
They always have that.
So we won't have to stay within 50 feet of the property line at the Civic Center?
And what, if you're digging? You ain't
If we're
digging?
going to your DU. deal.
No, I ain't making a motion on that.
Okay.
You can, I'll give you a waiver on
All
that.
right.
All right, Barry, anything?
I'll take a motion to adjourn.
You can do it.
Okay,
Now you can do it.
everybody else good, now you can do it.
All right, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Bobby and Jan,
Yeah,
all in favor?
aye. Thursday night, John ain't
So by
coming.
the Lord,
I don't think
Ridge,
John's coming. Frog will be there.
by the Lord,
Frog's gonna be there?
Ridge Restoration
I'm trying to
Project.
get Frog. I know Billy
That's a
said.
project that,
Frog a couple times today.
Benny's coming.
Benny's gonna be
Yeah.
there?
Benny
yeah,
Dalton said he
so
wanted
just
to.
the ridge portion, I understand.
Got 30 tables.
We got a seen on HTV promoting our Elks extravaganza Saturday.
So
Duck
we had
extravaganza.
Oh, it's a little baby
this
duck. Little
department
ducks that
organize
fit
some
in the
high
bayou or
school
something?
students
Yeah, well, we got the fire truck
to
going to pressure.
Pressure to push
So we're gonna dump the
That
ducks and
project
you got a
equipment
number.
originally.
You got a number.
And whoever's number finished the finish line.
DNR.
Last time we did, we just dumped them, they got stuck in the bulkheads and everything.
Oh,
yeah.
So this
And
time
now
we
they're
got some
talking
pool-
about rain.
I
Yeah,
got
so
some,
we're gonna put some pool noodles to start at least.
Oh, yeah, at least
That way to
fun.
get them going.
I saw
We
one.
were gonna have duck call and all of that, but I told Brenda the duck season over and the duck